All right, let's talk about Chuck Schumer and the Hateful Eight. So, the Senate just voted to end the shutdown. 8 Democrats crossed the aisle and voted with the Republicans. Now, they said that this was the best deal that we were going to get. This was the only deal on the table. This wasn't a deal. We basically got nothing. We got the promise of a vote that we will definitely lose, and that's it. So, a couple of things. One, these 8 people have betrayed the American people. They've betrayed the Democrats. They've betrayed everything that they claim to believe in. But they have to be primaried. Another thing, Chuck Schumer may not have actually voted for this himself, but you notice how everybody who did vote for it is sort of like somebody who's a lesser Democrat or someone who's like towards the end of their career or something. You didn't really get any big names on it, which makes me wonder if they're sacrifice pieces like pawns. I mean, Chuckles knows whoever votes for this is probably going to get primaried, so he's going to keep his own name off of it, right? And even if he's not involved in some dirty backwater deal to get this done, like, it's a failure of leadership on his part. His failure to keep the Democratic Party together, to hold the line. And he's been failing for some time. And now a number of people on the Democratic side are just coming out and calling for him to be replaced, because that's what needs to happen. He's old. He doesn't understand the moment that he's in. In fact, all of these people, even in the most graceful and gracious interpretation of this, that they're just misguided, which I don't really buy. But even under that interpretation, if they are so incapable of understanding and meeting the moment that they are in, that they do not understand that the only way to resolve this is to fight, that they do not understand that the American people last week gave a very clear mandate that not only do they want Democrats who are fighters. They want Democrats who are willing to hold the line, who are willing to go 10 rounds and then step up again. Chuck Schumer isn't it. These people are so used to doing business and doing politics in the old way, they say, oh, well, it's the only deal we had. Then you don't make a fucking deal. Not only that, but they're trying to claim it as a victory for the Democratic Party. They're saying, well, we got what we needed out of it. We got 40 days of messaging. Messaging? Nobody gives a fuck about messaging. People can't eat messaging. Messaging doesn't pay for your fucking hospital bills. Messaging is the old way of doing things. They're toying with people's lives now. This isn't about party politics or we'll get them on the next round or messaging. Just the fact that they care about messaging shows that they don't actually take this as seriously as they need to. They view this as a game of leverage and political power and back and forth. This isn't. This is people's lives. Trump is killing people. Trump is starving people. This isn't about messaging. We don't need messaging. The only messaging that Democrats got out of this is that these individuals are weak, pathetic, and that they will betray the American people given the slightest chance. And that's the best case interpretation. Now let's talk about a little more sinister interpretations, which is that we all know that big money is in politics, left and right. And some of these big corporations are putting an enormous amount of pressure on both left and right-wing politicians to bring this shutdown to an end. Because a lot of these large corporations that fund the political campaigns of both left and right-wing politicians are losing a lot of money off of this shutdown because people aren't getting paid. That means they're not spending money. People aren't spending their SNAP benefits. Do you know how much money goes into the economy and into these large retailers just from SNAP benefits alone every year? Like, they're putting a lot of pressure on. And it's quite clear to me that Chuckles and these 8 Democrats caved to the pressure from their donors. Because why else would they do it? If they didn't gain something, why else would they do it? it's a move that makes no sense. And they're out there trying to justify it and blah, blah, blah. But like, oh, this is the only deal we could make. Then you don't make a deal. No deal is better than selling out the American people, which is exactly what they've just done. If somebody comes in and they say, I'm going to shoot you or I'm going to starve you, which one do you want? You don't just agree to one of them. You fight that person. You fight, Chuckles, or you get the fuck out and make room for people who will.